Not good.
When it comes to remote wilderness hunters and forests,
and the
have
forest
always
have
shared
always
a deep,
shared a
almost
close
primal
connection.
But this viral clip has left countless viewers unsettled, questioning what exactly these two hunters encountered that day. In the footage, one of them records from a tree stand high above the ground. As the camera slowly pans downward toward the forest floor, the reason for their alarm becomes clear.
Oh shit, this is not good.
A massive black-furred figure moving below, producing deep guttural growls. The creature is huge, with long arms, and a disturbingly human-like posture, seemingly searching for something, perhaps the hunters themselves. Could this simply be an elaborate hoax? Possibly. Yet the resonant low growls are not sounds a person could easily imitate, and the raw fear in the hunters' voices feels disturbingly real. Imagine being in their place, clinging to a tree, while something unknown prowls beneath you.
Not good. What the f?
What would you do since the 1970s? Iowa's diverse landscapes have been the backdrop for numerous reported Bigfoot encounters, now totaling 77 and counting. This footage was recorded deep within a network of World War II tunnel structures left untouched for decades, buried far below the surface where radiation levels remain dangerously high. A small group entered these forgotten corridors to measure the residual radiation, but as they ventured farther in, their camera began to glitch and malfunction. It's important to recognize the courage it takes to step into such a dark, hazardous place, especially with radiation involved. The lowest part of the tunnels can only be reached by descending a series of steep steps and wooden slides that lead deep underground. Minutes into the video, something unexpected appears, an image that would shock anyone watching. According to those who explored the tunnels, similar apparitions have been reported before, often believed to be tied to the intense radiation. They suspect these conditions might allow the spirits of fallen soldiers to appear within the passageways. Given the site's grim past and chilling atmosphere, it's not hard to imagine the ghosts of long-lost soldiers still wandering there. Could this be one of those places where the past simply refuses to stay buried? Picture stepping outside one morning, coffee in hand, only to notice a strange formation drifting across the sky. This clip, first uploaded by the Viral Hog channel, was filmed in Indonesia and shows a massive black smoke ring hovering ominously overhead, almost like something straight out of a science fiction movie. The ring's slow, controlled motion makes the sight even more unsettling. As moments pass, the smoke gradually thins before fading completely. Witnesses and online viewers have debated its origin, offering explanations that range from spiritual phenomena to possible alien activity. However, there's likely a far simpler cause. Similar smoke rings have been documented in many parts of the world, most traced back to human activity. The most reasonable explanation is a release from a smokestack chimney or controlled fire, with the circular formation and dense consistency suggesting it's man-made rather than supernatural. In this gripping video, a bystander records from the street as a building is engulfed in flames with thick smoke pouring out from shattered upper windows. Amid the chaos and urgency, an unexpected moment unfolds. A cat suddenly leaps from a fifth-floor window to escape the inferno. Amazingly, the feline lands on all four paws, demonstrating its incredible agility and instinct for survival. Witnessing such a daring leap followed by a flawless landing is both shocking and awe-inspiring. While cats are known for their ability to reorient themselves mid-air, thanks to their highly refined vestibular system, surviving a fall from such a height is truly remarkable. Could you imagine that millions of years ago, Earth might have hosted real giants? While dinosaurs are well-documented proof of massive humanoid beings is far rarer, which makes this discovery especially shocking. One man reportedly came across an enormous footprint pressed into solid rock. When geologists investigated, they estimated the print's age to range anywhere from 200 million to 3 billion years. Measuring nearly 4 feet long, the impression strongly suggests the possible existence of gigantic beings that may have once walked the planet. Some experts argue it might not belong to mythical giants at all, but rather to a now extinct human species far larger than any living today. And if such beings truly existed, could that connect to the legends of Bigfoot, or even hint that their descendants might still roam remote corners of the Earth? There's no doubt the footprint itself is genuine. What remains unknown is the story behind it, and until more evidence appears, its true origin will continue to stand as one of history's most fascinating mysteries. What do you think? Even in daylight, cemeteries can feel unsettling, but after dark, their eerie stillness becomes far more intense. Even the bravest person might feel uneasy when surrounded by the haunting silence of a graveyard at night. This footage captures that exact atmosphere. Filmed at an old cemetery bordering a dense forest, the video records something truly inexplicable. Late at night, a security camera spots a dark, shadowy figure appearing near the burial grounds. The shadow seems to grow larger, drifting from one gravesite to another, with movements that feel disturbingly unnatural. The entire moment looks like a scene straight from a horror movie. And while many people are quick to dismiss talk of spirits occurrences like this strange, unexplained, and seemingly impossible challenge our sense of reality and suggest the world around us may be far stranger than we imagine. The Sasquatch Outpost channel, known for compiling and sharing alleged Bigfoot sightings from around the web, uploaded this next clip, which they claim was recorded with night vision binoculars in the Lost Creek wilderness. According to them, the footage was taken on February 16, 2019, around 1:00 a.m. At first glance, the night vision video appears calm, showing only a still, shadowy forest. But a closer look uncovers something far more disturbing. Among the trees, a small dark head with 2 glowing eyes seems to peer out from behind a trunk. The figure stays motionless, fixated on the camera, almost as if waiting for it to turn away. The man who captured the footage, named Jim, returned to the site the next morning to investigate. What he found only deepened the mystery. The shape seen in the clip appeared to line up with the dark underside of a fallen log, possibly explaining the face-like outline. Yet one major issue remained. Nothing in the area should have reflected infrared light from the night vision device. That strange detail is what makes this footage so fascinating. On one hand, it could easily be dismissed as an illusion. But on the other, those 2 glowing eyes staring directly into the lens imply something else entirely. Whether it was a trick of light or a living being watching from the dark, the uncertainty itself is undeniably chilling. Hidden deep within YouTube's endless archive may lie some of the strongest evidence yet suggesting these creatures are real. One such clip, filmed about 30 miles east of Banff Park's border near Nordegg, Alberta, was recorded entirely by accident by an unsuspecting oil field worker during his daily routine. After parking his truck to check some equipment, he finished his inspection and drove off, completely unaware that his dash cam had just captured something chilling in the distance. As the vehicle turned, the camera briefly caught a large, shadowy figure standing motionless just beyond the trees.
This is not like a terrorist attack or a natural disaster or an act of war where the world completely. Because this is something that's going to unfold. It's been unfolding for months. It's going to continue to unfold for months.
The worker never saw it, but the camera certainly did. A closer look at the footage reveals a tall, broad figure, covered in dense, dark hair, standing perfectly still, as if it were watching him. When slowed down, another striking detail becomes visible. The figure appears to be holding something in its arms. This isn't an isolated report either. In December 2019, Bigfoot researcher David Beaver filmed a similarly massive figure, also seemingly cradling a smaller one just 25 to 30 miles west of this very spot. Could these encounters be connected? Are we witnessing members of the same group or perhaps a family? With two separate daylight sightings captured in such striking detail, the real question might not be whether Bigfoot exists, but how long they've been silently watching us. The next video comes from the YouTube channel Blue Mountain Bandit, which usually shares content about camping, outdoor living, and wilderness life in Oregon. However, this particular upload, reportedly a re-upload from an unknown original source, stands out for an entirely different reason. Filmed in Oregon's Blue Mountains, the footage captures a distant figure climbing a steep hillside. From afar, it appears tall and thin, shaped like a humanoid completely covered in dark fur, a look eerily similar to classic Bigfoot descriptions. Though its upright two-legged walk mimics that of a person, the figure's entirely black form has fueled major debate. Some viewers dismissed it as someone hiking up the hill, but one commenter, a nearby resident living about 20 minutes from the area, strongly disagreed. Familiar with the terrain and local landmarks, he estimated the figure to be roughly 7 feet tall and insisted it wasn't a person or a snow-covered rock. The footage has since divided viewers. Skeptics claim it's simply a hiker caught on camera, while believers argue it could be convincing evidence of Bigfoot's existence. What do you think? Most daytime Bigfoot sightings are usually distant, blurry, and hard to decipher, often creating more confusion than clarity. But this video stands apart. It's unusually sharp and close, offering a rare detailed glimpse at whatever was caught on camera. Filmed by an unidentified person, the footage shows a massive figure seated on the ground holding a clump of grass. At first glance, it might resemble an orangutan, but when the creature turns toward the lens, that similarity quickly vanishes. Its facial features and overall build closely match decades of Bigfoot descriptions. As expected, opinions on the clip are deeply divided. Skeptics insist it's likely someone in a detailed costume, while others point to the creature's subtle, natural facial movements, which shift as it glances toward the camera, as something not easily mimicked by a mask or suit. Though the chance of a hoax can't be ruled out if authentic. This video could represent some of the most convincing and detailed visual evidence of Bigfoot ever captured. Next is a video from the Juvenile Sasquatch channel, operated by Chris Dickinson, a dedicated Oklahoma researcher who has spent much of his life exploring the state's dense forests in search of evidence of the mysterious Sasquatch. With years of field work behind him, Chris knows what signs to look for, and he's fully aware that something might always be watching from beyond the trees. This particular upload, dated July 3, 2020, follows Chris and a friend as they head deep into the wilderness, determined to uncover new clues. The footage opens with Chris carefully navigating through rough, overgrown terrain before discovering a group of fallen trees, a formation often linked to potential Sasquatch activity. Moments later, something unnerving happens. Chris spots what appears to be a head peeking from behind a tree, but when he tries to locate it again, it's gone. The uncertainty in his tone is clear, and a creeping sense of paranoia begins to set in. Still, he continues forward. After shifting his position, he suddenly hears the sharp crack of breaking branches, a possible sign that something is drawing closer. As they move deeper, the two come across a strange makeshift fence made of sharp wire stretched across the forest floor.
There was something over there that looked like a head sticking up, but I couldn't. What? There's a fucking fence here.
Who built it and why remains unknown. Feeling uneasy but determined, Chris and his friend climb over it and continue onward. Eventually, they reach a clearing and notice movement in the distance. Unsure of what they've seen, they stay still listening. Only the sound of snapping twigs and faint rustling breaks the silence, heightening the tension. The deeper they go, the more oppressive the atmosphere becomes. Dense brush ahead conceals faint movements. Something is there, shifting just out of sight. Then they find something even stranger.
I seen that thing right there. It's just a tree trunk. Right in there. Over there, from back there, it looked like something huge.
A structure made of arranged branches and fallen logs appearing intentionally built. While filming through the thick brush, Chris suddenly spots a large, dark figure partly obscured in the distance. Its outline is unmistakable, and it seems to be watching them. Moments later, low, guttural growls echo through the woods as if warning them to leave.
That looks pretty thick. Do you see something in there?
I'm looking.
Holy crap, look at that. I got something big and black back here.
Chris believes several Sasquatch could be nearby stalking and toying with them, watching, tracking, and sending warnings. Though the footage doesn't offer clear proof, the deep growls, unusual structures, and the persistent feeling of being watched all point to one chilling idea: these creatures may have mastered the ability to stay unseen, and they're playing mind games with anyone who dares step into their domain. The YouTube channel West Bigfoot Researcher has been active in Michigan for over 6 years, focusing on investigating elusive beings such as Sasquatch. Their skilled field team not only records potential encounters, but also breaks down each event with in-depth analysis for their viewers. The footage in question was taken during an expedition on July 20th, 2021 near Whitmore Pond in Evart, Michigan, a site they revisited after reports of a possible young Sasquatch seen high in the trees. Early in the video, the camera picks up a dark figure positioned among the branches. As the narrator zooms in, he points out the shadowy form and notes he intends to investigate it more closely. As they move deeper into the forest, the cameraman notices what looks like a dark, odd-shaped mass attached to a tree.
First, I'll show you where to look. Right here is your first stable look at a distance of the subject in the tree. As I get closer, I get a better look at him, and then I'll have, more in the breakdown here. But I also have a few more encounters after this.
Though hesitant and uneasy, his curiosity wins out, and he approaches. Filming the strange object, he tries to convince himself it's just a natural formation, yet a creeping fear takes hold as if the growth itself might be staring back at him. Feeling increasingly disturbed, he eventually retreats to camp, still trying to make sense of what he saw. When the footage is reviewed later, things become far more unsettling.
That's really weird.
The so-called growth turns out not to be a growth at all, but what seems to be a juvenile Sasquatch wrapped tightly around the trunk, clutching a piece of pine bark. The narrator highlights the key features: a face, a hand, and the bark, all evidence pointing toward a living creature rather than a random shape. The most disturbing part occurs when the being appears to move and release some kind of liquid that lands on the cameraman. As the narrator dryly notes, no tree formation could poop or drip fluid, implying that whatever he filmed was alive and aware of his presence. Whether this was an intelligent creature blending flawlessly into its surroundings or merely a trick of light remains unknown. What's clear is that this encounter raised far more questions than answers, and perhaps hints that something extraordinary may be watching from above. Two hikers were ascending the famous Mount St. Helens when they encountered something deeply unsettling. As they rolled boulders down the slope, they noticed movement in the open area below.
Hey, there's something down there. See that in the clearing?
Oh, yeah.
In the distance, a massive figure, much taller than any human, was striding through the wilderness. What makes this incident particularly fascinating is that Mount St. Helens has long been associated with Bigfoot sightings. Many others have claimed to see similar figures on the mountain, and the resemblance between the captured images is striking. Loggers working deep in a remote forest accidentally filmed something unusual. While operating heavy equipment, they noticed a tall, dark figure appear in the background of their footage. At first, nothing seemed out of the ordinary, but later they were stunned by what the recording revealed. In another clip, a father films his daughter Liana while walking through the woods, unaware of what moves behind them. In the background, a large creature can be seen shifting among the trees. When they later reviewed the video, they were shocked to discover what they believed could be Bigfoot. On November 12, 2024, a remarkable discovery was made in the thick forests of Meghalaya's South Garo Hills, India. Two massive, weathered footprints were found embedded in separate moss-covered rocks along a riverbank. The impressions appeared ancient, heavily eroded, and blanketed in moss, indicating they had existed for an extremely long time. The finding quickly sparked reactions across both local and international communities, as the shapes resembled those of the Mandai Barong, a legendary creature from the region's folklore. Described as a large, hairy, bipedal humanoid akin to Bigfoot, the Mandai Barong is believed by locals to roam the subtropical forests of the Garo Hills, where the prints were discovered. Alicia S. sent a photograph to the Rocky Mountain Sasquatch organization that had been taken by her friend's daughter in central Minnesota. The girl had been photographing deer when she unknowingly captured something strange in the frame. It wasn't until 3 days later that they noticed a mysterious figure appearing to watch one of the deer. Since that moment, their German Shepherd has been unusually restless, which they now suspect might be related to the sighting. Alicia, who has lived in the area her whole life, mentioned Minnesota's long record of Bigfoot encounters. Could this be genuine proof of Bigfoot, or is there a more ordinary explanation? On November 2nd, 2024, at around 3:00 a.m., a man in Connorsville, Indiana, captured something deeply disturbing on his trail camera. The device, designed to detect both motion and heat, took 4 consecutive photos showing what appeared to be a large bipedal creature. It had a broad body, rounded head, long arms, and dense fur features often associated with Sasquatch. To add to the mystery, footprints were discovered nearby. Josh Banker, the camera's owner, later reported hearing eerie, unexplained screeches echoing through the forest, along with similar strange noises reported by his neighbors. In October 2010, a man reviewing DVR footage from his vehicle noticed something strange. The clip shows a truck driving through a rural area when a large dark figure suddenly appears beside the road. Its hands seem massive, closely matching the descriptions often linked to Bigfoot. What else could it possibly be? In early 2024, a drone conducting border surveillance in Big Bend National Park, Texas, captured an unusual figure using its thermal camera. The aerial image shows a creature with a dense white fur, along with a visible head and limbs. After review, experts acknowledged that the photo raised serious questions as no clear explanation has been determined. The region is steeped in eerie local legends, including stories of a white Sasquatch or Yeti, further deepening the mystery. The site itself is extremely remote, with no trails or signs of human presence, making it seem even more plausible that this could be an elusive creature like Bigfoot. A Reddit user posted a trail camera photo from North Carolina that appeared to show a dark, hairy figure in the forest. The creature's arms looked too long to belong to a bear, sparking speculation that it could be Bigfoot. The camera, originally set up to track deer, captured the mysterious figure in a secluded area known for strange noises such as howls and knocking sounds. On November 15, 2024, a video was posted to the Rocky Mountain Sasquatch group detailing a terrifying Bigfoot encounter that reportedly took place 3 years earlier at a mobile home park near Mount Shasta in Northern California. The witness claimed the creature shook the trailer, growled through the window, and pounded the walls with immense strength, an ordeal that lasted for 2 nights. When she stepped outside, she captured a pair of glowing eyes staring at her from the darkness. Later, her companion spotted a tall, shadowy figure moving near the trailer. While some skeptics argued it could have been a bear, the deep growls and massive outline didn't fit typical bear behavior. The area is notorious for strange noises, and Mount Shasta has a long history of Bigfoot sightings. Could this have been a real encounter? A harvester captured what they claimed was undeniable proof of a Bigfoot encounter in a video that has sparked widespread interest. The footage shows a massive human-like figure jumping from a tree at the forest's edge. The creature then runs left, quickly pivots right, and vanishes back into the woods. What makes this sighting particularly strange is that the figure appears far outside its usual habitat. The video raises intriguing questions about this elusive creature's behavior and what might have lured it into the open. A group of friends went hiking in the forest for a fun day out, and on their way back, they decided to record a short video to remember the trip. While the camera focused on the group, everything looked perfectly normal. But when they later reviewed the footage, they realized they hadn't been alone. In the background, a dark silhouette appeared human-like, yet moving in an eerie, ghost-like way. The unsettling discovery left them shaken and disturbed by what their camera had captured. A couple was camping close to a plantation when they took this picture. In the background, the face of a brown creature can be seen peeking out from behind a tree's branches. At the time, they noticed nothing out of the ordinary, but later, while going through the photos, they were horrified by what they saw. In 2016, a man hiking through the forests of Maryland suddenly began to feel uneasy. Moments later, he encountered something unexpected. A large, hairy creature with horns described as a Sasquatch-like figure with the head of a goat. The first photo spread rapidly online, but the second image, which showed the being more clearly behind a tree, drew even more attention. This sighting aligns with long-standing accounts of the Maryland Goatman, a terrifying figure in American folklore said to be half man and half goat. The Goatman is typically depicted with cloven hooves, a horned head, and a menacing aura often connected to isolated, eerie places. Was this a genuine encounter with the infamous creature? or just an elaborate hoax meant to provoke fear and curiosity. The family was on a road trip when their young daughter glanced out the window and spotted something strange. In the nearby grassy field, a dark figure stood visible.
Mom, look how pretty the sunset is. Ow! What was that?
At first, it seemed like it could be an animal or perhaps a person, but its unusual size and posture made it impossible to tell. A video titled Jabba's Cascade Bigfoot, uploaded on August 5, 2024, surprised many viewers with how realistic it appeared. However, with no details about its source, the footage remains shrouded in mystery. In the clip, the creature seems to notice the man before quietly slipping away. Many estimate it to be nearly 7 feet tall. Without further information, this strange sighting continues to be an unresolved mystery. If you work in remote areas, especially around the Uinta Basin, this next clip might interest you. It was posted on the RMSO Bigfoot X account, where a follower submitted a first-hand encounter. The report came from a coal miner who had been working near the Uinta Basin in May 2012. According to his account, while traveling along a trail, he noticed something sitting behind a large rock beside the path. He described the being as having a cone-shaped head and extremely broad shoulders, roughly 48 to 50 inches across. Its beige-colored hair measured 6 to 8 inches long, thick, and blowing in the wind, with spots of pink skin showing beneath the fur. When he later returned to measure the rock, he estimated the creature would have stood around 6 feet tall, while seated, and nearly 10 feet tall when upright. Though it remains only a story, the amount of detail and how well it matches traditional Bigfoot descriptions make it especially eerie and unsettling. For reasons unknown, people working in remote regions seem to encounter these beings more than anyone else. When it comes to proving Bigfoot's existence, few names come up as often as Dallas Gilbert, and this photograph might be the long-awaited evidence. The picture was uploaded to X, formerly Twitter, and quickly drew the attention of cryptid fans and researchers alike. In the image, Gilbert and a friend were searching for Bigfoot when they accidentally captured a dark figure deep among the trees. The form appeared tall and broad, closely fitting the classic description of Bigfoot. As the photo spread online, debate broke out. Some argued it was only shadows or tricks of light, while others believed it could finally show the elusive creature itself. Sadly, Dallas Gilbert passed away on December 9, 2016. Had he lived longer, there might have been a full investigation into the sighting and perhaps more convincing proof of Bigfoot's existence. For more mysterious and intriguing footage, check this out. This next video comes from an excavation site where workers uncovered something so strange it could challenge everything we know about history. These clips were posted on Instagram by several accounts and quickly went viral. During an excavation at Jatayu Mountain near Meerut, workers found a mysterious, human-like skeleton. What shocked many was how fossilized and well-preserved it appeared, and the fact that nothing like it has ever been recorded before. Archaeologists are now studying the discovery, while social media buzzes with speculation, some even connecting it to the Ramayana era. Many think it could be linked to the legendary bird king Jatayu, a demigod from the Hindu epic Ramayana, who took the form of a giant vulture and tried to save Sita from Ravana. Others argue it's more likely a man-made sculpture that was buried long ago and only recently unearthed. Could this be a glimpse into a forgotten chapter of history, or something far more unsettling? A hunter traveling through the Canadian wilderness experienced something that stunned the entire hunting community. Frank, an experienced Canadian hunter, was on a solo expedition near the Nordegg Woods in Alberta when he began hearing strange noises echoing deep within the forest. Curious, he climbed onto his quad bike and rode toward the sound. But what followed turned into every hunter's nightmare. Upon reaching the spot, he called out for his friend Don, who was supposed to be nearby, but there was no reply. Instead, an eerie silence hung in the air before something else responded. Startled, Frank returned to his quad bike, but froze when he spotted a motionless figure standing in the darkness at a distance.
Dawn.
Believing it to be his friend, he called again, but there was no response. Panic set in. He tried to start his bike, but it wouldn't turn over while the unsettling noises continued from the forest. Terrified, he decided to move on foot, yet it felt as if something or someone was following him. As he ran, he stumbled upon the disturbing remains of a deer, and nearby discovered a strange structure built from branches and leaves. It looked unnervingly deliberate, as if crafted by something intelligent with tufts of fur scattered around it. Feeling increasingly threatened, Frank fired warning shots into the dark where he thought he saw movement. That turned out to be his worst mistake. Moments later, a black figure lunged from the bushes and the camera went wild. In the chaos, the hunter was dragged across the ground by whatever it was. Alberta has long been linked to reports of strange creatures. Our forests may seem peaceful and still. Yet this footage hints that something far more disturbing could be hiding just beyond the trees. Reports of shadowy figures have surfaced across the state, especially within the mist-covered woods of eastern Kentucky. These sightings became so frequent that an organization known as the Kentucky Bigfoot Research Organization was formed, dedicated to documenting encounters, investigating claims, and even promoting protection for the creature. In 2013, the group released something that shook the entire Bigfoot community. Initially posted on their website, the footage gained widespread attention after being re-uploaded to a third-party YouTube channel on December 31st, 2013. The clip consists of still images taken deep in the Kentucky wilderness. Around 8:00 a.m., the camera captured something strange, but it's only visible when zoomed in and slowed down. For a brief moment, what seems like a head peeks from behind the brush before vanishing from view. Upon closer look, branches appear to move as the figure emerges and retreats. By enhancing the brightness and contrast, the outline becomes clearer. A dark, fur-covered head matching the classic description of Bigfoot. Viewers quickly debated the footage. Some believed it was undeniable proof, while skeptics claimed it was likely an owl pointing to the size and what appeared to be large eye sockets. That theory might seem reasonable if it were the only case. But 3 years earlier, in December 2010, another Kentucky trail camera captured something equally chilling, a humanoid figure covered in fur. Walking with a distinctive posture, often linked to Bigfoot, complete with a noticeable hunch. When you listen to first-hand accounts from hunters, campers, and even law enforcement people who gain nothing from publicity, it's hard not to wonder. Could Kentucky truly conceal an undiscovered species in its vast wilderness? In a land as rugged and enigmatic as this, Bigfoot might be more than just a legend. That's it for tonight. Which moment creeped you out the most? Drop it in the comments. Have your own story? Share it with us, and stay tuned. The next one is even darker.